You know, just relaxing tonight, just chilling out, having a lovely evening. On our little 30 acres out in the middle of nowhere. I got to thinking about something. Strive, this is just me now, and you're not talking to a perfect man. If you're looking for me to be perfect, you've set the bar way too high, okay? I've got more issues in Time Magazine, remember? I'm just like anybody else. I get lonely. I get very sad. I get down. I get depressed. I get anxious. I get angry, just like anybody else. But one of the things I'm starting to learn more and more and more is the less and less and less I need. When I was younger, man, I felt like I had to have the boat. I had to have the Harley. And there's nothing wrong with those things. You know, I felt I had to have this rifle and this muzzle loader and that muzzle loader and that bow and this bow and that bow. And what I realize the older I get, and being in the ER enough times, you don't give a crap about any of that stuff. And when you've had a doctor come in and tell you, hey, if you ever love somebody that you didn't tell, you better tell them. Because there's a good chance you're not leaving here alive. That simplifies things for me, man. And it helps me to understand that there's a lot of things that we chase in this world that just aren't worth it. They're more about our ego than absolutely what we need. Now, I'm not saying, again, there's nothing wrong with the cool car. There's nothing wrong with the boat. There's nothing wrong with having the Harley. But there is something wrong with having the Harley at the expense of needing to pay bills, making yourself miserable, or feeling like you're not enough because you don't have one. You hear me? It isn't about the big house. It isn't about how cool a car you have, or how good you look, or how good you don't, in my case. It isn't about any of those things. It's about enjoying for as long as you can, and as long as you're able to suck air, the life you have with the people that you love. Life is about being good to folks. It is. It isn't about how tough you are either, because I could do splits between bar stools, and you can ask my wife. I used to kick a 9-foot ceiling. Standing on the floor, I could jump up and kick a 9-foot ceiling, and I did it at parties for fun. I used to think I was tough. But you know what tough is? Tough's making sacrifices so your family can do better for themselves. Being tough is putting your ego down and putting it aside and stop being a jackass. Being tough is going to a job you hate. Being tough is going to a job you hate in the most adverse weather conditions, being miserable, or in an office that you hate so you can feed your family, because there is no shame in your job. There's no shame in being blue collar. There's no shame in not being wealthy. There's no shame in not being famous. You see, I've been around a lot of famous people, and I've been around an extreme amount of wealthy people. And you know what I found out about most of them? They're all miserable. If they don't have God in their heart, they're miserable. If they're not seeking first the kingdom of heaven, I'm telling you what, it's never enough. It's never enough for them, guys. No matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, no matter what they buy, it's never enough. The clothes aren't enough. The houses aren't enough. The cars aren't enough. So why do we make ourselves freaking miserable over what we don't have? Why? Why? Why do we let the car commercials just make us crazy? Why do we go to Bass Pro, or we go to Cabela's and just go nuts over the bass boats? And why do we fret and look at the magazines over the bows, and God knows, fill in the blank? Could be golf clubs. Heck, I don't know what your thing is. I used to know a lady who had more Yorkies than she had children, and she treated her Yorkies better than she did her own children. She didn't need those Yorkies. So whatever you're obsessing about, that thing that's making you miserable right now, I guarantee you there's a good chance That if you were in the ER faced with the same situation I had, you wouldn't care. I don't care anymore. If I love somebody, I'm going to tell them. If I don't want to be around somebody, I am not going to beat myself up about and make myself be around them if I don't want to. I'm not doing that anymore. The people that I care about, that are close to me, I care what they think. Okay, I do. And I want to love them best I can. But I also know something else. This life is short. I sat one time with a man on his deathbed, and he worried about a woman that he had not told that he was in love with. And he regretted that on his deathbed. Another man was a Vietnam veteran, went there with the Marine Corps and then went with the Army, then re-enlisted when he got home back with the Marine Corps and went back to Vietnam. And Tom was probably one of the nicest, sweetest men you ever met in your life. And he had regrets. I met another man that while he was dying was regretting the fact that he didn't have a good relationship with his son. And the biggest regret that it was nobody's fault but his own. So I'm here to tell you right now, guys, none of this crap you're chasing matters. Not the TV, not the fact that you got Netflix, not the little temporal shit your kids tried to talk you into, none of that stuff. That they're begging and pleading for this iPad, that computer, this gaming system. Let me tell you, if anything, they're a huge distraction. They're a fake world that's causing your kids problem in the long run because they won't be able to face reality when they get hooked on that thing. You know what's real? This is real. The crickets right now. The locusts, the tree frogs. That's what's real, my friends. That's what's real. This weekend, you have a phenomenal opportunity just to get out somewhere and enjoy nature, because that's what's real. Enjoy the people that you love, because that's what's real. Tell somebody that you love them and say, hey, I love you. I've always loved you. I will always love you. Cherish the ones you're with. Stop obsessing about all the things your husband isn't and all the things your wife isn't. And love them right where they're at best as you can. Stop worrying about whether or not you're happy. Let me tell you something. Joy's a choice, my friends. It's a choice. Stop sitting there obsessing about how you're not happy. Look, I'm going to tell you, 90% of the world ain't happy. It's all because they're focusing on the wrong things. Find joy in the small things. Start liquidating the things that you have to only things that you need. Stop obsessing about stuff that doesn't matter. Stop pretending you're somebody that you're not. Stop being so freaking Stepford and worrying about what everybody thinks. None of this stuff matters when you're dying. Didn't for me. Your opinions didn't matter. What my neighbors thought of me didn't matter. The fact that we're selling this place, everybody thinks we're crazy. You're selling this place in 30 acres, it's all you ever wanted. Yeah, well, it's killing me. I'm less than 1% of the world that has the allergy I do, and it's killing me. So I don't care what people think anymore. I don't care if people think that I'm not a good man. I care what my God thinks of me. I care what my wife and children think of me, and a handful of friends that have become like brothers and sisters to me. Those are the people I care about. Look, guys, I love you, but I want to shoot it to you honest and true today as much as I can. If this was the last day that I had on this planet, and it could be, because I've lived that life. I know what it's like to wake up many times and be shocked that I was still alive, because the night before I went to bed thinking, I'm not getting up in the morning. I'm meeting my Maker today. Stop wasting your time. Stop sweating the small stuff. Start loving people and being good to folks. Start saving your money and striving for more. Not because you're greedy, because the good Lord can teach you how to use it properly. Stop living with impoverished thinking. Stop letting family guilt you into feeling like you got to go hang out with them, talk to them, or reply to their text messages. Hell, 30 years ago, there weren't text messages. There wasn't Facebook. Well, I don't know. Facebook's been around a while. But none of this crap. It's all busyness, and none of it matters. So start focusing on what matters. With everything you got in the house, ask, does this matter? Everything that you're pouring into Facebook with strangers that wouldn't have called you anyway, that you call friends, they're not your friends. Most of them, 90% of them, wouldn't even run to your aid. Get your head wrapped around what matters. Stop getting distracted by all these things the world's trying to put up and offer you. And you know what you're going to get? I'm going to tell you. My friends, you're going to get peace. You're going to stop carrying the weight of so many things that cause you anxiousness. You're going to get a thing called joy because you're going to make that a choice in your life to live it with a smile on your face. That's right. That's right. I love you. I'll add this one last thing. I knew a lady who cared so much about what everybody thought, she lost sight of what was real. She lost sight of what was real. Her kids always had to look a certain way, walk a certain way, talk a certain way, represent a certain way, and everything was just about what her opinion was about life. She cared very much what everyone thought. She cared very much how her husband looked, dressed, and acted. And she stifled all of them. And in all that controlling, and in all that grasping, and in all that striving to try to look good and have the nice house, have the nice car, have the nice clothes, and all that getting, she lost everything. Because none of it mattered. None of it was real. Control is an illusion. I will guess, I lied like a lot of pastors say when they say I close with this. 12 minutes. If you stung in here with me this long, you either love me or it matters what I'm saying to you. Guys, in my lifetime, I have gotten faith and felt as though I lost my faith and then got it back. There's been all these ups and downs, but I'm going to tell you right now, the precepts of the Word of God have absolutely saved my life. Brought me back to places where I was useful and steady and calm. If it weren't for Jesus, I wouldn't have anything that I have today. And guess what else? And all because that's true for me and it's true for you doesn't mean I even give a rip what my church family says. We don't go to church for that very reason. And I don't care what you think about that. But I do love you. Stop carrying the weight of so many heavy things. You can't carry the weight of those things when you're trying to soar. Lay them down. Lay them down. You'll find more freedom. You'll find more joy. You'll find more peace. I love you. Keep building that legacy that will far surpass your legend. Okay? Love you.